Okay, everybody, so I'm going to continue now showing you how to actually set up the game. This is based on the rules that SoloPlay has implemented, so there are some changes. I kind of went over some of that in the last video. You only have one of each individual building. One of each individual building, but you have two of each individual landscape, and you only keep one of each, three freedoms, so one of each individual freedom. Then you're going to have three gestures, just like the base game that you set up, and then also three builders. So any of the extra builders kind of go away. You'll have the same amount of cash as normal, same amount of cash all throughout. You're going to need one individual player piece just to keep track of the turn order. There's 7 rounds in the game. And then you're also going to have this little piece here. This is called the item selection marker. This is going to move around. A lot of your decisions are going to be based on where this thing is located. Now, he says that you're supposed to take 10 bonus cards, shuffle them, remove 10 from the game, and you don't see which ones are. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, those are put away. He also says that you need all your 21 profession cards, so we'll keep all of those. I may have added an extra bonus card. I lost count. I don't care. It doesn't change much. You also have... I apologize. Give me a sec. You only have 2 recruiting cards in the game. That's on purpose. Prestige cards, you are going to take 7 prestige cards, and you're going to keep 7 of the prestige cards. You're going to remove the rest, but you do need a few of them. You do need a few of them for a little bit later in the setup, which I'll go over in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so these are the ones kept into the game, and I will put these away. Like I said, I will need them in just a second. The next thing you need, okay, I talked about the freedoms. We have those square markers. 1 building of each type, 2, yeah. Okay, so we're all good. Now becomes the most interesting part, and this is where you actually take the professions. Now, the game's going to get 7 profession cards. But you need some of them. Hopefully, you only need 5 of them on your setup, but we'll see. What you want to do is you want to take profession cards and then see what's actually listed on the profession card. In this case, okay, so he has a building, a studio, which is this little piece right here. You know what? You're going to place this on your board. There's rules in terms of placement. When you place these things, normally when you place it on your own board, you can't actually have the buildings touching each other until you've bought this second builder. But for a video game, he starts with all his builders, so he's fine and he doesn't care. And actually, throughout the game, he can take stuff and stick them on his board, regardless of what it's touching. Buildings can touch land tiles, but they can't touch other building tiles until you've gotten the second building tile. In the normal game, they're also not supposed to touch this little corner building here called the palazzo. But for this variant, they can touch this palazzo. Just something you threw in there. Okay, so you take the studio. You're also going to need a forest and a religion. So the studio is this building right here. I'm going to take this thing and I'll stick it right there because I'm just really not sure where else to put it. I'm going to take this forest tile. I'll stick it on there. I'm going to orientate it so that it covers this space. It is to your advantage to cover as much of this board as you can, because if you take a building and you can't stick it on there, you're going to make stuff more expensive. The forest tile I've placed, and now the religion tile. The religion tile is one of the freedoms. It's this little icon with a prayer, and of course, now the points are running away from me. It's a little prayer, so you'll stick this and you'll place it right there. The gestures stay, profession cards stay. So that's his first card that he's grabbed. The next card he grabs is this one, and it says the laboratory. Laboratory is a big building. Big buildings are very awkward. They take up a lot of space. more of these big buildings are used, if you actually take a look at the player board, well, each of these, there's going to be three professions that have the big buildings, so they kind of want to kind of stick in there. I need to figure out where to put this. Again, it is to my advantage to cover as much of this space as I can. So I'm going to choose to stick it right here. Yes, I know I created this little opening right there. I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't make that much of a difference in the game. I'll go over that as it comes. He also has a forest, and in this variant, if you cover another building twice, if you put a new cover a land tile that already has something on it, or if you have a landscape tile, then you put 200 flooring on it. That's going to make it more expensive. And if he tries to score something with something this thing, each little stack of 200 flooring increases his work value of whatever he's trying to score. In other words, he makes this like if he tries to build something and it's got these little stacks on there, he gets him better points, and for you to take that away from him, it costs you more money. Okay. Finally, he also has the travel token. I'm playing the normal difficulty level on this, so if you put buildings or landscape tiles, they get 200 for it. But if you get a freedom tile, they only get 100 for it. And that's just kind of something for this specific difficulty level. Okay, so that's that part. The next one is the chapel, which is actually one of the smallest buildings in the game. And the forest again, so making the forest really expensive. And the opinion tile. So now I have to figure out where I want to place this chapel. Well, the chapel conveniently fits right here, so I'm going to take it right there and just use it for that. The chapel is one of the smallest buildings. There's only one card that ever actually uses this chapel, so that kind of figures into strategy as you go. So I've got 3 cards already. Now, if at any point I have 5 of these spaces covered, then I can stop, and then I just add, I fill up this card until I have 7 cards, and I stop. So it's to my advantage to try to cover as much of this board as I can, so that's what I'm going to try to do. The theater tile is a fairly awkwardly shaped building, this building right here. I need to figure out where I want to actually stick this. Okay, well, it also needs the lake and it needs travel. So travel is already on the board, so we're going to stick a single 100 flooring token on it. I have the lake, which I need to stick on there. And where do I want to put this? I think I'm going to put this right here, because there's still lots of things that can fit there. And I'll put this lake right there. That seems to work pretty good. So he's got 4 cards. Now, this is the 5th card. The workshop. A fairly big, awkward building. Now, as you can see, I'm starting to run out of spaces where I can actually put this stuff. He also needs a lake, so I'll put 200 flooring on that lake. And he needs travel, so another one of these stacks. Now, everything matters in this difficulty level. It matters based on the 200, like stacks of 200. So you're trying to make stacks of you're trying not to make stacks of 200, but if you have a choice, well, you want to keep the amount of stacks down because each individual stack adds work value. Okay, this workshop tile, I'm going to stick this somewhere. Is this the only spot I can stick it? I was looking at it. That's not good. I could do this. Now, why does this matter and why am I doing this mental math? Because if I can't place an actual building on there, I have to add 200 flooring to everything that's currently on the board. So I want to be able to stick something on there. Currently, I still don't have the park on there. So if I stuck that there, I could potentially get a park there. If I put a park right here, that would have 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be the only thing that would ever fit there, though. If I stick it here, then I have a square thing, but nothing really ever fits there. Unless I somehow manage to pull up a square. It's just a really awkward shaped building. Yep, you get to watch me think. Lucky you. Okay, stick this here. There really is only one space where this fits. And that is there. So, this is looking not so good for me because I still have lots of space. Now, I can, once I have 5 of those spaces covered, I can stop and have to pull another card. But I still don't have 5 spaces covered, so it looks like this keeps going. I get the tower. The tower is, of course, an awkward building that does not fit. So, that's unfortunate. The forest tile gets 200. Now, and the religion tile gets 100. Now, here's the rule. If I have a building that I cannot place, I could have placed it, that would have come up, but I was hoping it was going to be a different time. Something bad happens. And I think I said it, I just want to make sure I actually have this right in the rules. If the building landscape is not able to be placed on the item selection board before 5 spaces remain, the player must add 200 florins to any item that currently does not have florins on it. So I have to add 200 florin to everything. So everything just got slightly more expensive. Which sucks, because there's lots of buildings on there. Now, that doesn't count for landscape tiles. Landscape tiles can... you don't need to put double landscape tiles in there. I believe you can actually only put a single one. That's the way I read the rules. You can look at it and check it and see if it's different. So that's this one. Now, finally, for this last spot, I have the laboratory. And the laboratory is, in fact, on the board already, which is good. The park, which is now on the board. And the religion tile. So religion tile gets another 200. The laboratory gets 200 as well. So now the lab just gets that much more value for him. I probably want to build this laboratory soon just to take it away from him. However, there's only one card. There's only one card in this remaining deck here that's going to have a lab tile. So I can recruit it and try to basically build one of his one of these profession cards. I can take it from him once he's actually done it, but it's gonna get expensive. It gets expensive, and my value goes down based on that. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got his 7 cards. For the remaining part of this, I get to take. Well, I get to take a florin and stick it on the board. Now, I'm supposed to have extra florin to do this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one also has a 100 space, but I don't actually have a 100. So I'm going to cheat and take that. I'm just going to stick this 500 on here, even though it really is supposed to be just a 100 florin, but I've run out of florins. Now, for the remaining part of it, I still get to do some other stuff. His first builder gets 500 florin to start. And you also count up the number of buildings on his board and add that to the amount of florin he has. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he gets, this one costs an extra 500 florin. Now his jesters start off with, the first 2 cost 1,000 immediately, and the last one costs 500. But he also adds this value of this first one as well. And how that works is you take I said before, you're going to have to use one of these prestige cards. You look at the prestige card. You look at this value right here. If there's a large and small number, then you'd actually take the large number. And you add that to the cost of. Now, of course, I run out of florins, so I'm going to pretend that these 1,000 tokens here are actually just single ones. And stick that there. And actually, individually, this one, I'm also going to take this one away and just turn this one into a 1,000. Just pretend it's 100, because there's no reason why that would ever be that. So if I want to purchase this first joker, it's the cost of the joker itself, which is basic auction price of 200, plus 1,000 plus 700, so 1,900. That's expensive, but sometimes it's really worth it. Okay, for the final part of this, I now take 6 of these profession cards remaining. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are professions that the game could recruit, but it may not. They go right here. They go face up, so you get to see what they are. Now, one of these is the hospital, and the hospital is not even on the board yet, so he's not trying to build it. I'm probably not going to try to build it. We'll see. And then I take 4 of these. 4 of these. These are the remaining 4 are 4 that I can purchase. Plus, there's going to be 1 from here that I can purchase. So there's going to be a grand total of 5 in here. Now, I have my starting hand. I choose, of these 5, I get to choose, of these 4 professions, I get to choose 3 of them. So I'm going to choose to go through those, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Cool.